Hello, welcome to what's going to be a slightly different video than usual, mainly because it's not Star Trek. It's about James Bond, and you may not know, but I'm a humongous James Bond fan, bordering on an unhealthy obsession, frankly. But today was International James Bond Day, which commemorates the release of Dr. No, the first James Bond film in theaters in 1962. So a lot of Bond fans were expecting nothing, and while others were expecting a lot. And then there were some nestled in between. They were expecting nothing but holding out hope. And I think I fall somewhere in the middle there. Look, I mean, obviously, a lot of us are desperate for news on the next Bond film, and maybe desperate. It's a bit of ridiculous, because it's just a movie. But I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm eagerly awaiting the next era of Bond. And of course, I was hoping that we would get some sort of. I did not think in a million years we would get an announcement of the actor or the director, because I don't think either of them have been chosen yet. I think we're still very, very early in the development of the next film, like pre-production maybe. So I think the fact that Barbara and Michael haven't come out and announced anything just yet is because they're not ready to. Now, I'm sure they're working on it. I know a lot of people seem to accuse them of being lazy and they don't care. And of course they care. It's their life. They've dedicated so much of their lives to it. They were a little exhausted after No Time to Die. They've said so. But I would assume that 2 years later, they're probably more willing to get started on it. I can hope. So I'm holding out hope that they are indeed working on it behind the scenes. I'm not expecting them to be totally transparent, and I don't think that's reasonable. They want to release it and tease us as the information is available and when it's the right time. But today was James Bond Day, and we got some stuff that was a little bit underwhelming. I would have rather just have not got anything than some of the stuff we got. The biggest thing we got was the trailer for the 007 Road to a Million reality game show series that honestly doesn't interest me at all. The production value is incredibly high. The trailer itself is impressive, and they have Brian Cox, who's a very famous actor, who's playing the controller, who's sort of manipulating all these people and sending the contestants who you could have applied for, and you can actually apply to be in the second season of the show if it's already been greenlit. He's sending these people out to different locations and having them, do James Bond-like competition and go on a James Bond adventure. The premise is not exciting to me at all. Will I watch it? Probably. I'm a Bond fan. Any Bond content, I'm so, I want. It's like we're in an oasis. It's like an oasis in the desert, because we're so, eager to see any bit of little taste of Bond content. I'm there all the way. But yeah, I don't care about reality TV. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. It's something slightly different, but it just screams to me like something that Amazon, as soon as they got the rights to Bond, they were like, we need to have something that we can put on Amazon Prime that's got the Bond stamp on it, because the movie's not going to be for a little while. And I hypothesized amongst many people that Amazon was probably going to be a little bit pushy towards Barbara and Michael to get things moving. I hope that's the case. I think that would be a good thing for them to have a little bit of push, because it seems like they're a little bit stuck in their ways right now and they don't really have that ambition. Maybe Amazon can change that, or at least slightly hinder that, or help that rather, excuse me. But recently there's some new leadership going on in MGM, and I know Barbara Broccoli rumor had it that Barbara Broccoli was not happy with MGM leadership after they were purchased by Amazon, but now it seems that that's changing a little bit internally. So maybe maybe everything is going amazing for Broccoli and Wilson. Now they're going to be head over heels excited about working on the next film. I don't know, but we got no announcement whatsoever today. I was thinking maybe we would get, and this was a really stretching it, we would get a release date, because I don't know if a lot of you remember, before Spectre, or rather after Spectre came out, a couple of years had almost a little over a year had passed, and we hadn't heard anything about the film. It was all rumors. We didn't know if Craig was coming back. And then in summer 2017, out of seemingly nowhere, they released this tweet that said the film would be releasing on November 8th, 2019, Bond 25. At that point, we knew nothing about the film. So the fact that the release date was the first thing that came out was very surprising. I think in the press statement that came along with this announcement, they said that Purvis and Wade were writing the film, which ended up not being the case, and that did end up being the case because what happened with Danny Boyle. But yeah, this was before, a month after this, Craig announced that he would be returning as Bond. So yeah, they definitely had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle in place before they even made that announcement, because I don't think they would have if they weren't sure that they were going to be able to make that, which is funny because they didn't end up making it. But I think they're not ready now to make the announcement for Bond 26 in hindsight. But I also thought on the flip side of that, maybe they set a release date, and I'm talking like 2027, 2028. I don't think it's going to come out in 2025, and certainly not, and maybe 2026 if we're really lucky. But I'm thinking 7 or 8. But maybe just set a release date as a target to aim for. Maybe not necessarily, set a soon one, so they have to have a deadline they have to make, because that could cause a lot of pressure and things could get, they'd have to delay it, and that doesn't look good. I think set a release date just so that's a little taste of what's going on behind the scenes for us. So we do have a little bit more confidence of what's going on, and we feel a little bit, more comfortable with what's going on, rather than just saying, oh gosh, are they developing a movie? Are we ever going to have Bond on the screen again? Of course we will. We're going to have Bond back. It may take quite a few years, but it'll happen. I mean, we saw James Bond return at the end of No Time to Die, and Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson themselves have said it's going to happen. It's just going to take some time. I think we just need to sit back and relax. What was I talking about? Oh, yes, of course, James Bond Day. I went off slightly on a tangent there. I mean, it's all Bond-related stuff. But yeah, the big thing was the trailer for 007 Road to Unsurprising, which was a good trailer. We'll see what happens with it. We saw, to start off the day, they released a little Twitter video X video of them of Bond, and they released that trailer, and then they announced a book. I think the luxury brand is called Assouline. That's releasing a book about James Bond destinations, which is pretty cool, like coffee table book. But I've heard it's kind of expensive, so I don't know if I'll be getting that. Probably not. And then I think that was it. And we also got the James Bond films. All of them are back on Prime, and I don't understand why that wasn't the case. I mean, Amazon's owned MGM for almost, I think, over 2 years now. Why do they keep going on and off of Prime? I don't really understand. But maybe they're there. Maybe it was some sort of weird rights thing. But maybe they're there for good for now. It was a very weird thing going on with that, but it seems to have been settled. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happened today. I was hoping we would get some sort of little tease. By the way, the people who were on opposite ends of the spectrum, who were saying we should have got something, it's ridiculous that we didn't, and those who say we had no reason to expect anything, I have my opinions that support both sides. I think it's not totally unreasonable for us to, expect something, because anything could happen. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. It could have been further along than we know. So I think it's not unreasonable to have expected something. However, there is no proven track record of us getting anything good on James Bond Day. I think a lot of us expect, myself included, James Bond Day should be this big celebratory thing, but really it's not. It's really just a thing for brands and it really is just something to remind people that Bond exists. It's not meant to be something it's not meant to be a holiday for Bond fans like I kind of wish it was, but it's only been going for 10 years or so. They fabricated this thing right before Skyfall came out. But like I said, there's never been, except for last year, I guess 2 years ago, because No Time to Die, but last year we had the 60th anniversary with that Sound 007 concert. So that was a special thing, James Bond Day. But otherwise, we've never had a big event besides that's really stood out, and they never made any huge announcements about the films on James Bond Day. That's what's most important. So yes, in that sense, there is no track record for us to expect an announcement, but that doesn't mean it couldn't have happened. So I think both sides have their strong points. That's why I'm sitting in the middle. Look, I'm not really upset, okay? We're going to have a Bond film eventually. I'll happily wait for the next film. Would I like it to come out soon? Of course I would. But I'm totally satisfied with waiting and them taking their time to get it right, because I don't want them rushing out another film. Not that they do that very often, but oftentimes when they have rushed films in the past, they're not always gems, in my opinion, and I know a lot of people feel that way about some of them. Of course, I also would have really liked to have heard maybe some news about the IO Interactive game, which I'm very, very much looking forward to, but I have a theory that I'm not really sure this is going to be ending up being the case, but maybe they are hoping to have it be a tie-in for the next Bond film. If that's the case, it better be a damn polished game, because they will have been working on it for like a decade by then, probably. And maybe that they are actually hoping to scan in the next actor. I think they said that this was going to be an original Bond, and I think they said flat out it wasn't going to tie into any of the actors. But maybe they've changed their mind on that. I don't know. We haven't heard anything about it, and the game was announced 3 years ago. So it's got to be pretty damn far in development. I'm very much looking forward to that. We recently got the Cypher 007 game, which I haven't had the opportunity to play. I don't have Apple Arcade or an Apple device, but I heard it was fun, but there's only like 2 levels, and then they tell you to come back and it'll be more DLC. That really sucks. I thought it was going to be like a pretty extensive game, but I guess that's how they keep you subscribe to Apple Arcade so that you have to keep coming back, keep your subscription going, and probably if they do it every month or something, they release a new level. But yeah, the two things, obviously Bond 26 and the Island Interactive game, would have been great to have been some announcement today. We didn't get it. I am pretty confident before James Bond Day next year we will have some sort of news in Bond 26. Mark my words, if 1 year from today I come back and watch this video and nothing's come out, I'm going to be very disappointed. Next year will be disappointed. This year I'm fine because I think we're okay. We're coasting along just fine now. Bond the community is still going pretty strong, thankfully. We don't really need Bond films to do that, though it definitely to strengthen them, even though No Time to Die has been extremely divisive. The Bond community is still very strong, and I'm thankful for it. But let me know if you're a Bond fan and what you thought of what happened today, if you were expecting some announcements. I know I haven't done a lot of James Bond videos on this channel. I have done a few reviews of the films, which I've since tanked, but hopefully I will be doing more of that, and certainly leading up to Bond 26, maybe I'll explore that more. But yeah, let me know, fellow Bond fans, what you thought of what happened today, what you were expecting, if you were disappointed by anything. Probably, most of you probably were. I was, slightly. But yeah, let me know. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, maybe subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.